we have very interesting panel and a keynote by our ACMI-W winner. I'm very happy to see female participants. As you can see that the event now we have is a ACMW committee event. So that's a women committee. And we name our this event as ACMW Annual Summit for Women in Computing. So I welcome all the women in computing, in tech, as well as the supporters. So we have, first we have a panel and then we will have a keynote. Our ACMW Summit houses 2 events, right? So I just wanted to and give a brief that what the woman wing does, right? So you know that you all are aware about ACM, right? I feel many of you are already members of ACM and taking the benefits that we get from ACM, right? So ACM is the world's largest educational and scientific computing society. Now we have this ACMW to support, celebrate and advocate women in computing. And ACMW India takes the task forward by growing ACM community, in particular focus with, of course, empowering women, right? And how do we do it? We provide some social professional support to women in computing by promoting the participation and professional development, by organizing various events where women can come together, network, celebrate, and interact. And we also recognize their contributions in the technology field by giving awards. So a little statistics is of the engagement of women in ACM. So we have 3 ACMW professional chapters. When I took the data, it was 3. Now we are 1 for professional chapter. And ACMW student chapters across India are 43 active chapters. So I just want to brief about the activities that in particular ACMW committee does in India. So this is our event list that we organize for specifically for girl students as well as the PhD scholars and professionals, women professionals throughout the year. And I would like to just go through some of the glimpses of these events. So very happy to share that last year or the current year is the 10th year of our ACMW committee incubation. So, and we were sharing it with ACM Women Europe also. So we had Indo-European joint event. It was an online event and that was the very good interaction of 2 different zones. This is one of our flagship event, that is the grad cohort. I feel many of you might be aware, or if you are not, then this is an event where we invite research scholars, students, as well as faculty members, and it's specifically for the people in women in research. So last edition was at IISc Bangalore. Some glimpses. So it was a 2-day symposium with lined up keynote speeches and seminars. A very good networking opportunity. We do a lot of events for the undergraduate girls also. Like we have this national level hackathon. Last edition was at PSG Coimbatore. The hackathon is run or conducted in 3 rounds. First 2 rounds are online, where we call for proposals. Then we evaluate the proposals. The second round is online presentation, where we take presentation of the students. And the third is an offline round, where we invite 10 teams, that is 30 girl students, to a location. And they have a 24-hour coding round there. And for this, we give them a travel grant as well as the stay and everything, just to give them an experience of, enjoying the coding competition as well as the networking. So the last edition was at PSG. We also host a national level coding competition that is known as Lady Ada Programming Competition. Again, it's a 3-round competition where first 2 rounds are held online, and the third round where we invite 10 finalist girls to come for a physical third final round, and we always co-locate it with our ACM India celebrations, so they can also have the opportunity and the benefit of listening to experts and learning from them. So the last edition was at BITS Planning, Hyderabad. Then we have the regional celebrations and buddy projects where we want our student chapters to collaborate with each other and do some events. And we are getting very good responses that student chapters are coming together and doing some buddy projects. So some glimpses again, like what kind of projects they have been doing. So, yeah. Oh, okay. So I just a brief little bit of stats. The research says that women in tech industry is 28%, and if we go at this current pace, it will take 132 to come to equality, right? But the scenario is changing. We can see that the percentage of women participation in tech industry is growing. There are various reasons. As you can see that percentage of women in Indian tech industry has grown from 30% in year 13 to 23, it is now 36%. So it is growing at a slow pace, but it is growing. So why I'm saying this? Because this is where ACM can play a role, right? If we be a part of ACM and we take benefit from the events that ACM does, we can always get good opportunities. ARCS is an opportunity for career, right? So what is women in tech, what we can do? Be brave and believe in yourself, network with the industry, and find yourself role models. And this is exactly where ACM events help. It has been the same in my career also. So my main motive to show this was I want all of you to come forward and participate in the events of ACM and ACMW for all the girls and the ladies sitting here. Right. So now our panel. So we have panel discussion today on the topic that is navigating the leadership ladybird strategy and stories. And we have pulled some experts from academia and industry. And I hope we all will definitely benefit from their experiences and the stories that they will share with us. So we have Chitra Babu, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, SSN College, as a moderator of the panel. I invite her to introduce all other panel members and take the panel discussion forward. Thank you all.
I hear something. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I welcome all of you to this afternoon ACMI-W committee's panel discussion on navigating the leadership labyrinth, strategies and stories. So I would like to call upon all our esteemed panelists after introducing them. First is Dr. Ruth Lennon. She is a lecturer with over 20 years of experience in the Department of Computing at Atlantic Technological University, Donegal, Ireland. She has been a member of ACM for over 20 years and is the global chair of ACMW and member of the DEI committee. So I'm not going to read everything here. You can look at her achievements here. And she has worked on projects to support and encourage women in computing and engineering career pathways for as long as she has been involved in computing. Welcome, Ruth. I would like you to take your seat on the dais. Please give her a big hand. And next panelist is Dr. Geeta Manjunath. You heard her in the morning. She was our first keynote speaker. So I'm not going to again read all her bio, but she's the founder and CEO, CTO of Niramai Health Analytics, and with lot of accolades and awards. So I think definitely we will be hearing her valuable insights in this panel. Please come to the stage, Dr. Geeta. And our third panelist is Dr. Novaline Jacob. She is a scientist G and Deputy Director at Advanced Data Processing Research Institute, Department of Space, Secunderabad. She joined ADRIN in the year of 1992, and she has been working in the field of satellite image processing, GIS, data analytics with image, video, audio, and text data. And she has established, developed workable methodologies and led teams for solving problems in variety of civilian strategic domains for MOD, MHA, and she has spearheaded the projects with various departments and ministries. And she has more than 50 research papers published in international journals and symposiums. I would like to welcome Dr. Novaline Jacob and ask her to come to the dais. Our fourth panelist is Dr. Alpana Dubey. She's a principal director at Accenture Labs, Bangalore, where she heads Digital Experiences R&D Group. Her research interests are in the areas of intersection of human-computer interaction, AI, and software engineering. And she is a member of Board of Directors of iHub Divya Sampark, established at IIT Roorkee by the Government of India. And she is also presently ACM India Women's Committee member. And she holds 40 issued patents and 41 peer-reviewed papers in reputed venues. And please give her a big hand, and I would like Alpana to come to the stage and occupy her seat. So I would like to just get started with introducing this, setting the context. So as Ruthvi was telling in her introductory slides, increasingly lots of women are entering into the IT workforce. So whether it can be in the area of academia, it can be research labs, or it could be corporates, or it could be, they could be establishing their own startups. So today we are here to talk about leadership. What is leadership? So leadership is about championing for a particular mission which you believe in and inspiring others in that journey. So how can you build the necessary skills, confidence, mindset, and network to take charge of your own future? And how can you hone your identity to steer your career in the direction you desire? And what kind of strategies women should follow to break the glass ceiling? And are the same opportunities available for female professionals as they are for their male counterparts? So this panel will be deliberating and discussing on all these dimensions, and it would be a real, that is, their insights will be helpful to the young women who are going to enter into the workforce to become inspirational leaders. So in the first round, I would like our esteemed panelists to share their journey from this angle, that is, what kind of leadership challenges, that is, what kind of challenges they faced and how they overcome those things, and what kind of traits made them great leaders. So I would like all our panelists to go one by one to narrate their journey. So I'll start with Alpana.
Hello, am I audible? Yeah. Hello everyone. First of all, it is my great pleasure to speaking in front of you and all the great ladies. And I hope I present my point of view properly. And I feel honored to be in this panel with all the great personalities here. So yeah, to start with, as you have asked that challenges, I would say challenges are like part of life. We should not call it challenges, and our memories are also, once it is over, we don't really feel that challenge as long as it is. If you ask me that, even the pandemic was a big challenge for me, because I was having 1.5 year old baby when the lockdown started, and I had lots of responsibility in terms of working in the office and also keeping the morale of the team high and all those things. So probably I won't talk too much about the challenges, but probably I will talk about in terms of what works and what has worked probably in my opinion in my favor or in my career
Definitely.
so far. So one of the thing is the relationship and the trust. So I find that trust and relationship has played a major role. I mean, I have always been fortunate enough to be having the great advocates, great counselors, and even a great help at home in terms of my family members, my husband. And apart from that, the type of trust I have got from my team and the trust which I have nurtured over the year have played a great role. So basically, even the collaborators and all, we have always have a very trusted relationship with them, and I have always made a culture of shared success, open communication. So that was one thing. The second thing which has really worked in terms of, I would say, that I am a great learner. I actually learn a lot. I'm always curious about things which I don't know, and my curiosity ranges from computer science to human factors, psychology, economics. I have recently read interesting books on behavioral economics and neurobiology behind the, I would say, neurobiology behind the behavior, right? So all those things are, you have to learn, and actually you may think that maybe these are not relevant to your career, but it expands your knowledge and it expands your thinking process. And the third thing which I would say is that clearly communicating the mission and vision of the organization of the team is very important. And it has, in fact, shown to be a most important factor when it comes to the leadership role within an organization. If we are able to communicate to the team members and the team members are able to relate how their work is going to contribute to the mission and vision of the company, I think that's something which every leader who looks to you as a leader actually mm, want that type of characteristic in you and gives you an opportunity further if you demonstrate those. So yeah, I would probably just pause here and pass it on.
Thanks, Alpana. Yeah, I guess that lifelong learning and also that building the trust within your team, all these are they're coming out as very important points. Now I would like Noveline to narrate her journey in this leadership path.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm indeed honored and privileged to be part of the panel. My special thanks to Ruth V, who was in contact with me, though I'm not part of ACM. I come from Indian Space Research Organization, and ISRO is known for its organizational culture. We don't have any gender bias. We are gender neutral. Right from recruitment through all our promotion process, there is no special privilege given to any woman. We have to work shoulder to shoulder with every other man and progress. So in this aspect, there are quite a lot of women who are employed, recruited, more than 30%, totally based on our merit only. But if you see, only less than 2% reach the top. That is mainly because I feel they have not capitalized on the opportunities, equal opportunities provided to them. So I would look at it this way. When I have to lead a team, first I should know what problems I should attempt. I should find the problems. For next 10, 15 years, on which technology I should concentrate, what science missions I should take up, what kind of applications the world will require from me. So these are the visionary role I have to play as a leader to take my team or an organization forward. So in this process, I may encounter several challenges, and my team should be willing to take up the challenges. So I should encourage the team to take up challenges in the sense, even if they fail, they are not going to be penalized. They're not going to be ridiculed if they fail. So when I give that kind of guarantee to them, then kind of bold thinking or free thinking happens. So that is one important aspect which I do with my team. Even out-of-box thinking, which is having 1 in 10th chance of becoming a success, still it is encouraged. So I always tell them, you attempt. I will recognize you for your attempt. So not making an attempt is often a bigger mistake than making an attempt and failing. So that kind of courage we give to the team who work along. If you ask me how did I reach this position in my career, I would say initially when we are taken up for this post, every individual has to prove their competence. Sorry, am I audible?
Keep.
Yeah. Like we have to take up individual responsibilities. We have to prove our competence as an individual first. Then when they recognize you that you have the potential to do scientific problems, analyze scientific problems, then you will be given a small project team lead. You'll be leading a small project. Then when you're doing good at it, then you'll come as part of the hierarchical structure. You'll be made as a section head, where you will lead multiple projects, then a division head, where you will lead projects in different domains, or diverse domains. So that is how we grow in our ladder from section, from project team lead to section head, division head, group head, and it goes like that. And then you become a kind of deputy director. So when you grow higher in hierarchy, you may have to have some techno-managerial role also, not only technical projects. Maybe you have to work on administrative aspects also, like, because being a technical organization, you have to do a purchase of technical items, infrastructure building for scientific purpose. So the teams will be held by all scientists only. So that way, we'll have to groom ourselves in the admin roles also, which will not be so comfortable in the beginning. So you'll be trained, you'll be given training during your course. The system has got very good culture of putting you into structured training programs, management training programs, management development programs in the course during your career. So this is how. And what I find is, so initially when I said as an individual I have to prove, I have to have a deep knowledge in whatever I'm working on. Then when I broaden my area, I'll have to increase in breadth as well. So I may not be a good expert in everything, but I should be able to assimilate things in other areas also. And that is how maybe I'll be bothering about nuts and bolts as an individual. Then I have to bother about the major frames and structures when I grow higher. So this is how our hierarchy grows. So from depth to breadth we grow. And this is how I am in place. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nolan. I think that one point which struck me was as a leader, so even if someone in her team is failing, so she will take the responsibility so that they can be, that is, they need not be worried about getting penalized, and that's a very hallmark quality of a leader. When success comes, give that to the team, and when failure comes, you take the responsibility.
That is a very culture of ISRO. Even Chairman ISRO, when something fails, he will hold responsibility for the entire nation and take the responsibility of failure on his head. And when success comes, he will put all the team in the front. That is a nice culture which ISRO has.
Yeah. Next, I would like to hear Geeta's her journey and how she overcame some of the things she said in the morning, but more of her insights. I would like to hear what kind of challenges.
Sure, thank you. And I think that was a well said statement about who gets the credit of success and who gets the credit of failure. So that's nice. So as far as I'm concerned, I think I'm probably the oldest on this panel. But it's always been the heart first, right? Like in the sense, what you like to do, sort of keep that in mind. That's how I've always thought about it. And so did my bachelor's from India, from Bangalore. And I think first few reasons and methods in which I probably got noticed is because of academic performance, I would say. I went on to top all branches in the state when I did my bachelor's. Then I got my favorite Indian Institute of Science opportunity to do my master's. And even to do the master's in 1981, I know half of you weren't born there, or maybe 90% of you weren't born at that time. Then I think my parents were very, very critical in allowing, or important, crucial, in allowing me to study further. Obviously, there's always this pressure of, okay, you're done graduation and go do something else, right? So So they knew that I, she was saying, ever learning, I love to learn. I really, so learn one thing every day is my mantra, right? So similar thing. So basically, they saw my passion, and obviously I did well, and I got a wonderful seat in computer science masters in CSA and ISC, and went for it. And it so happened that I even topped ISC, got a gold medal. So again, I got sort of recognized for that, and I didn't want to do PhD immediately because I started liking doing things which make a difference on the ground, kind of thing, like somewhere somebody can touch the things. So but I didn't want to leave India. Of course, I did have a bunch of offers outside, and I decided to stick on and got into the first computer science research center in India called CDAC. I think many of you would have heard about that. So that was a wonderful time. We were it was more like representing nation. And one thing that made till here at least was, in my BTech, I never used to talk to my male classmate. That's so silly. But yeah, that's how I was. We were very, very conservative. But I had to break all those barriers in my mind. Trust me, girls and ladies here, it's all in your mind. Just you start thinking there is no gender. This is the only thing I tell. I don't know whether any other panelists will agree. Forget your gender. You are no female, nothing. You are an engineer. You are a researcher. That is what you are. And don't get that come in your mind at all. So I have sat in classes of 150 people, single girl in the place. And how the hell can't I talk to my neighbor? I have to. So I have to, nobody said don't talk. It's just crazy. So obviously I broke all that, and then it was wonderful. I worked as one of the members of the first supercomputer from India. But all of these things gave me confidence, I would say. I'm not saying gold medal is important or getting first or whatever is important, because I never worked towards that, honestly. I always loved reading every line of my textbook. Anyway, my son says, what the hell? But yeah, that's... every word I had to understand in the textbook. It's crazy. So that's what I used to do. But I think that gave me confidence, saying that, okay, I'm not bad, right? It's okay. I'm at least equal to others, and I can go for it. Because I think you mentioned about self-confidence, right? Can I do it? Most of the time you're thinking, why I can't do it? If something is put on, oh, I have this problem, so I don't know English, I don't know this, that's why I can't do. Don't think like that. You see, what is that you have which makes it possible for you to do it? Don't think about why you can't do it. You ask this question, why can't I be the person to take up that task? Ask the other question. And usually, I think females ask and feel less confident about themselves and say, no, that person probably knows me. How do you know that person knows better, more than you, right? So this is just because appearance-wise, somebody seems to know, it doesn't mean they have to do better. So having that self-confidence is absolutely important. I didn't get it myself till I got all these sort of ranks and all. I thought I didn't know anything, honestly, and I was not asking. Later, I got confidence in myself. Yes, I can do it, right? Then also in HP, I went on to join as one of the first research members of HP, working out of India, Mera Bharat Mahan. That means my country is great. So I wanted to do that. But I got a wonderful opportunity there to interact with international researchers. I used to go to Palo Alto, work with the international researchers, and it was an opportunity for me to sort of go and present how India can do research. So again, I used to think bigger than myself, and this also probably help you, right? It's not Geeta or your own individual you're representing. You're representing India when you go and present. Here you're representing all women in computing when you come on stage. If you start thinking you're a representative of a much bigger thing, you just get so much power. You can't even imagine. And when I'm working in Niramai, I'm just thinking about, how many crores of women in India, how many millions of women in the world, they are going to benefit. When you look at, it's not about selfish thing at all. It's not about you. Come on, world is such a big place. And in that, Bhubaneswar is a small city. In that, this Mysore is a smaller and this room is smaller, right? So we are very, very small. But when you think about what you're representing, what cause you're representing, really makes you more powerful. This is something I learned especially when I was at HP. I went there and I have wonderful friends around the world. I learned how they do research. Of course, I used to love publishing papers and getting that 5% improvement in an algorithm and so on and so forth. I really like it even now. But I realized how research internationally is done by connecting this improvement to a real value on the ground. What is becoming faster, cheaper, better in some fashion because of this algorithm, right? So when you try to see till end use level, no, suddenly you realize what exactly is the problem you're solving and what is the direction in which you have to improve it. So looking at research itself differently, and when you start doing it, you start actually behaving like your manager, like their manager in some sense, and you will get noticed and you will get promoted. It's awesome. You're not doing it for that. You're doing it for solving your problem better. So in Bhagavad Gita, they say, karmanye vadikaraste mapaleshu kadachana, means worry about the work you're doing, don't worry about the result, right? Work you're doing to the real extent. And I trust me, it has always been, though I didn't know that, I learned that later, but this has been current work you do with 100%, definitely you will go next. Forget about gender bias, nothing. No, you're a girl, you're a lady, that happens to be one of the parameters of the human being, but you are that intelligent soul sitting here. That is what matters. You have that confidence, you go forward. This is what I would say. Heart, main. Remove bias, very much important. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Geeta, for that wonderful insight. I think her passion comes out while she talks, and that one important point is when you are thinking that you are representing a bigger entity and part of that, then that narrow focus on yourself that disappears, and also while you are focusing on that, automatically your career also makes progress, I guess. So it was a very nice insight from Geeta. Now I will move on to Ruth to narrate her journey on this leadership path and what kind of challenges also, if you could point out. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So my leadership path began a long time ago. I'm not going to start with my birth, but I am going to tell you that I'm from a farming background. And that's all I wanted, was to be a farmer. Sounds odd, doesn't it? I can split a tractor engine, no bother. So why did I end up here? And the simple answer is because somebody saw that I was not challenged enough, not bored. And they said, why not? And I said, no, I can't do it. I'm not going to university. No. I can't do it. So they helped me, and they helped fill in the form. Or rather, should I say, they filled in the form and sent it off for me. But I got there, and I went to college. And I'm delighted to hear that you have confidence and that it's something you can build on, because I haven't got any whatsoever. So I'm going to find out how afterwards. I don't think, for me, that ever went away. I think I'm sitting here looking, I can't believe I'm on the stage with these people. I don't think I will ever gain the confidence I need, but what I can do is take a risk. Because I think risk-taking is a large part of what we need to move forward. If we don't try, if we don't put ourselves forward, we might never get there. If I didn't take a risk on going to university, I wouldn't be sitting here today. If I didn't take a risk on doing my master's and paying my babysitter, I might add, more than I was earning for the first year out in industry, if I didn't take that risk, I wouldn't be here today. So our background is a part of it, but the challenge, you had asked about the challenges, but the challenge has never been all of these external things. The challenge has always been me. I'm the person who gets in my own way, always. And if it weren't for my network of friends, which I hope is expanding today, if it weren't for my network of friends telling me, just try. What's the worst that can happen? I said that in the committee this morning. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, the worst is a no. Well, how hard is a no going to be? It's painful for an hour, have a cup of tea, and then you go, yeah, I wasn't really meant for that job. I'll try for this one instead. And you're grand. Taking the risk is a big thing. Again, I don't think I'll ever have the confidence, but what I will have is more strength to push myself forward. and to push other people forward. Because my network of friends who are pushing me saying, go on the panel, you'd be grand. Or it's a good idea. Or why don't you become the chair of Europe? Or why don't you become the chair of ACMW Global? I'm not from North America. I am not a big person. I'm not currently in any big industry. Yes, but why? Why not? Why not just ask? And I asked, and I got told no. And I was deflated. I was gutted. And then I asked why. Because you want to know why you're not getting to apply, or why you're not getting to, because you're not from industry. Yes, but why is that relevant? And then I got told, okay, we'll interview you. And here I am. So asking why, you might not have the strong confidence, but ask why and take the risk. And it might just get you that bit further. But my point is more about the human. That our teams, we're here to talk about leadership. And it's all about the fact that there are people in the teams. And those people have good days and they have bad days. And they have time they can commit more effort to. And they have times where they can commit less. And being accepting of who your team is and what they can give you at any point in time, and saying, okay, you're under stress, you have a sick child at home, or you have this on. You know what, if you're not 100% there, that's okay. If you don't have the time today, that's okay. I know by letting you go today and not do so much, you're probably going to do more for me next week. So I'm going to ask, what can you do, and work with you? And when you tell me, Ruth, you're being too hard on me, or Ruth, I can't do that, I need help with this, they're more willing to say it, and you're going to get the best out of them, and they're going to get the best out of you, because they want to work with you. And it's not for, it's with. So it is all about the human in that team. So be as confident as you can be, but accept that 100% confidence doesn't have to be there, but being willing to try is there. And being a leader, I'm so delighted to see that this is about leadership, not management. Being a leadership is about the people that are involved, not about some group ideology.
Thank you, Ruth. I think, again, she brought out a very important point that sometimes we have to overcome our own internal fears or internal whatever inertia or doubts, self-doubt. I think especially I think at least from literature or by, they tell that women are more susceptible to this imposter syndrome, like thinking even though they accomplish something, but they always self-doubt that whether am I really worthy for this thing or not, that sort of a thing. I don't know how a male would feel, but then more females feel this way. So it's very nice that, so you need to work on your own internal fears, and then if you take the risk, then you can, that is, here she is chair of ACMW Global. So very nice to hear this. So with that, we have come to the end of the first round. Now what I would like to do is, I would like to ask some very specific questions to probe further from each one's that particular context. So, so the thing is, I would like to ask Geeta about, that is, when they are going for this kind of startup funding and all, so is it, that is, the situation differs for males and females, or is it the same for both the gender? And my subsequent question is, while you are leading, that is, how can you be assertive but without being branded as arrogant? So,
Yeah. I mean, arrogance is different. Arrogance is, you know everything, nobody else knows. That's not what I'm saying from confidence. But coming to the sort of the funding and so on and so forth, again, what is in, so essentially focus on the work that you're doing, right? So when you're trying to say this is what it is, the way, again, I thought about it is you're presenting it to the investors. So it's important to try and get into the shoes of the listener, right? Whoever is the other side. Maybe for you, what makes sense, we should be talking, and things like that. In a class, what makes sense to the student, so that's normal. Similarly, you to try to understand what does the investor want, right? So when you go to such a forum, understanding what it is, obviously at the end of the day they want money, right? There's no, but it's not so only that. It's also about the reason why they are putting or trying to put money into this, as opposed to, let's say, Paytms of the world, where it's just money. There's no risk as such, in a novel idea which nobody else has done breast cancer screening with this and so on. Means they also want to enable and nurture innovation. So these two angles, So you have to stress the fact that why your idea is the best thing, or it is likely to succeed, not really the best, but likely to succeed in terms of different parameters, the innovativeness, the proof of concept you have had so far. And they also may definitely doubt the team, irrespective of the gender. First, they will see whether the team is good or not. The perception of how much you know about a particular subject is also important. Like, how do you let the audience or the listeners perceive your knowledge is unfortunately important. It's not about how much you know, it's also about how you're able to express it, right? So that's important. And in our case, also we had I had worked in Xerox and led teams, so that kind of helped the team part, and hopefully my gender was not a barrier at all in that particular case. And at the end of the day, trying to make sure that there is a pathway that you can see of success of the startup. Whatever is that pathway, you have to give it. So because they are investing, they don't want it to flop. Definitely 1 in 100 flops, 10 in 100, only 10 in 100 win. Sorry, I went the other way around. But you try to give all those points in place. So that was it. But yeah, when we went for the second round, there was I'm not sure whether as a lady you'll be able to take on the traditional methods that are very much there in the world. So those kind of terms I've heard a lot. Okay. And I just move on, fine. I don't need to fight. I don't need to, see, that's the other thing. You can't please everyone. You can't be accepted by everyone. Main thing what you can do is don't get affected. That's all. So you have to start becoming rough skin, buffalo skin, jo bhi hai. I know I have cried many times at home. I don't usually cry in front of others. Oh, hurt to hota hai. You will get hurt, but over time you don't get hurt for small things. You get hurt when somebody breaks your, you trust. Those kind of bigger things, you believe in somebody and they don't believe it. Those things hurt me now. Somebody says something to me, it doesn't hurt me because I know why I'm doing it. And if somebody thinks something, it doesn't matter. It's difficult. It's difficult to get to that stage. Again, like I said, I still have my own low moments. Oh, why did this happen and all of that. But you have to start becoming aware about what to ignore and what to really take. It doesn't mean you, like she said, no, definitely, if we don't make it, ask feedback. Honestly, you try to correct it. That's when you can move forward. I'm not saying, ignore the feedback anyway, they've not accepted. No, not at all. But I'm saying if it's something about your personal thing, as women, we take it too emotionally. We should take it. We will take it. But try and see if you can reduce that hurt level to some extent. Try to forget it as much. And we also try to, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this. We go on forever. Forget it. Ho gaya na. It's already broken glass. Let's move on. I think this aspect is important. So, and several other things, but yeah.
So, that's a very nice observation that whether it is male or female, the technical competence is what matters. That is how confidently you are able to pitch your idea or whatever it is. So, I think if at all you think that there is because of gender, you will be denied funding opportunities. It's not there. It's a very good to know kind of thing. And also, I think you should not be very hard on yourself for something for a very long time. You have to let it go and then move on. It's a very nice point. Now I will go to Alpana and ask for that is in what way the new entrants, like young professionals who are entering into the workforce, so how are they mentored and what kind of organization culture that is there to help them facilitate a smooth kind of journey. So what are those things? and what leadership qualities are very important in a corporate world, if you could just tell that.
So as far as mentorship is concerned, most of the firms, they have very extensive training programs for all the at all the levels, at all the skill levels, based on what kind of career path they are going to choose. There are at least thousands of training programs. There are training programs especially made for women, so that they can nurture the leadership roles. In fact, there are gender sensitization programs also made for all the teams, so that they are more intentional about in their communication. So I believe that most of the firms are doing all these in quite good amount, and those initiatives are all there. And what I feel is that, having said that, women have to come forward. In fact, there are lots of promotion also to the women leaders and women for leadership roles. And in fact, Accenture has kind of made a commitment to make it around 50-50%. And right now, about 45% of the women are in the board of directors, and 33% women in executive role, 30% are MD, about 48% women overall, if I look at the mix of Accenture employees. So the commitment is overall there, and there are basically tools and techniques to help them grow further. Mentorship programs are there, internal mentorship programs are there. So what I feel is not there is that we should not be so much fearful about coming forward and taking those opportunities. Opportunities are there, but sometimes, as all of us are saying, that we actually undermine. Lots of time ladies undermine themselves. So back in 2017-16, we did one study on a freelancing platform on the gender pay gap. So what we did is that we just analyzed in terms of the names of the freelancer, whether it's a male or female name, and the price they quote for the similar type of task. So basically, we actually compared how much price a male freelancer quotes and how much a female freelancer quotes, just to understand whether it's the problem with women to actually quote or undervalue their work than the male counterpart. And there was a difference. So for same type of task, for same type of background for the freelancer, and freelancing marketplace is open, so there is no bias. We can't say that there is any bias actually. But they were quoting less, quite less. So it was about around 35,000 of jobs which were posted on the platform. So what I think is that this is a great time that these things are being recognized, and all of us should come forward and be confident in availing that actually. And that's what I just wanted to add here.
Yeah, thank you. Just an add-on question. So did you ever feel some opportunity was not given to you because of gender, or that is, you thought that you were worth of that opportunity, but it was denied to you because of gender? Did you come across any such situation?
I don't think that type of thing has ever happened, but I felt that we are not proactive enough to actually talk about our achievement. We are not that proactive, and then we think that it's just a simple work once it is done. I mean, that's what I feel, that we have, our memories are very little, and we don't remember the greatness and the effort which has gone, and we don't tell the story behind that effort so well, which other parties, I mean, other entities do well. So I think those are the things which we should nurture. So even during the appraisal, when we have to create our own story about an year annual, right? I mean, you may find stark differences between when a female writes about her appraisal versus a male employee writes about his appraisal. So those are the things in which I think we should really learn to present ourselves in the best way possible. And otherwise, I don't think there is any, I would say, biasness at the level of decision against female at any level. I don't find actually that kind of thing.
Good to hear that. So now I'll move to Noveline and ask her a question. Do you think there is less hierarchy in a research lab situation compared to corporates? And what kind of skills are valued in a research lab? And also I would like to tell, that is, I want you to tell, do you have any such kind of experience, like you technically more competent than the male counterparts, but you were not given the due credit to that, it was hijacked by somebody else, such kind of situations?
Yeah. Coming to your first question, is there any hierarchy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would rather say that there is no less hierarchy, there is parallel hierarchy. Like, for example, a new entrant can approach the highest of the organization directly. So there is parallel hierarchy. Though they'll be put into an administrative structure, you'll have somebody to report and there'll be a structure. But still parallel hierarchy is encouraged. The newcomer, the youngster, the youngest of the organization will be called to the boardroom for any technical meetings, and he can raise his voice and give his views like any other senior person. Like his creative thoughts will be appreciated. And in fact, we like people who say no and contradict the views. No, that is how we can correct the designs if somebody is contradicting, not always saying yes to any senior or something like that. So we appreciate the people who put questions and then correct the systems at the design stage. Even the youngster is encouraged to do that. And they should also be willing to take up responsibilities. Not just an intellectual talent will be sufficient if they're not willing to take up the responsibility. 24/7, they should be available for any of the calls, because ISRO's work are mostly mission oriented. So we need to be responsible enough. Sometimes, very ill-structured problems we'll not be able to define the problems well. So somebody who has joined newly also should be able to address ill-defined, poorly defined problems, conceive it and give it a shape, kind of thing. So these are the traits, like they should be able to work in multidisciplinary environment, not in one discipline. They should be able to link across domains, areas and work. They should be a good team player. They can't work in isolation. Will not be able to be successful in any mission. So they should be a good team player as well. So if you are so intelligent and not a responsible person, you will not get a leading role. You have to have a leadership quality. You should take responsibility. And if you don't play well in a team, then you cannot work in isolation. So that is also an important thing. So not only being intellectually well, you should be able to take responsibilities, play well in the team, things like that. What was your third
last question? Was, has any due credit to your work? Was it hijacked by somebody else?
Oh, I would say never at all. I was given wonderful equal opportunities. Not only me, anybody working in our organization was given equal opportunity. Only thing I would say is women had failed to make use of this opportunity because they shy away from the responsibility when it comes to tours or something like now. They may not feel comfortable going. They may not be available outside office hours. These are the kind of things which they neglect to come up in the leadership, or take more of the leaves, exploit all the childcare leaves which is given just because it is there. Just 1 month leave just before the exams of the students. So I feel such things can be arranged. We can make arrangements. Or see, there is not much difference between a homemaker spending 10 hours a day with a child, and you will have only 1 or 2 hours, but you can plan yourselves and spend a value time. So if one can make arrangements for all these things, and if you're a career woman, definitely there is no way your due credits are hijacked by anyone. You are given due credit. At the same time, you are not given any extra privilege also. You should play among every other men in the domain.
Yeah, thank you, Noveline. I'll ask Ruth, so how is it in academic circles, especially in Ireland? I would like to see what kind of difference is there between India and Ireland's academia. And also, when a faculty member joins there, what would be their career path? Where would they be progressing towards? Could talk about it.
So First, I'm delighted to hear that you've never experienced any discrimination. I wish I could say the same, but I can't. I can say I was pinned against a wall and told I was wasting a man's space on a course. And obviously, I wanted to drop out because I was wasting a man's space. And again, if it weren't for certain people trying to convince me otherwise, to stay on, it'll be okay and I'll be worth it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in academia. So sometimes the going gets tough, and that's legacy people with legacy ideas, and just accept that they're the odd people. They're not normal. It's not you, it's them entirely. And you're not going to change their mind, so don't waste your breath. Walk away. You have much better things to spend your energy on. You are a better person than them. And just remember that. Always remember that. And it can be hard to remember it. But there's a good career out there for you in education if you wish to go that route. And the career could be, I want to be an educator. I want to be a lecturer. I don't want to be a researcher. Or I don't want to be a head of department. That's okay. There are different levels for everybody. What do you want to be right now? And whatever that is the right decision for right now. You don't have to be the top of the scale. You don't always have to push yourself. If you need the career break to look after family, just take it easy and give your mind a reset. That's okay. There are paths in research, pure research. There are paths in teaching, and there are paths which combine a bit of both. I actually like the third, the career path that involves a bit of research and a bit of lecturing, because it lets me work with industry. And I teach industry people DevOps, my area of passion. And I spend most of my time working on standards and trying to teach people how to use the standards for their benefit. And that's not a career path you'll ever see written down anywhere. So how do I move into a leadership opportunity in this? Well, if it doesn't exist, you make it. You take on the job, you take on the task, you volunteer to do this thing, and they'll say, yeah, okay, yeah, go do your thing. And then all of a sudden your thing is something you're known for, and then the role ends up having to be advertised as being that position, or people start looking to you to get the answers because you're the person in that area. If the job doesn't exist, you can make it. It's hard, but you can make the job, whatever that job is. You just have to kind of forge your own path into the area you want, your area of passion. I think you said have a buffalo hide. Yeah, to kind of, buffalo skin, sorry, apologies. You know, people are going to laugh at you, or they're going to give out to you, and I get, oh, it's Ruth, that woman in computing thing. That's my side gig. Sorry, but it is. My gig is DevOps. That's what I do. The other thing is something I like to do on the side. It's not what I want to be known for. I want to be known for what I do. I'm just happy to help other people come up with me, and better yet, to pass me out. I keep telling my students, I want them to pass me in a Ferrari waving at me. Sneer at me all you like. I want to know that you got there and I had this much of a little help towards it. And that's a good thing. So the career paths are there. They're definitely there. And if the one that you want isn't there, talk to people. Find out how they did it. Reach out and find what's involved, and just volunteer for that job that either nobody wants or didn't exist, and then make it known you did it. Because it's all well and good having this great activity that you're working on, but if nobody knows, then it's hidden work. And in industry, we say no hidden work. If it's hidden work, it's not doing you any good, it's not doing the company any good. At least if you say, this is what I'm doing, however you advertise it, if it's just having a chat with the boss and saying, this is what I worked on this week, it doesn't have to be a big Instagram post. I don't know Instagram, but it doesn't have to be an Instagram or a LinkedIn or whatever. Just the right people need to know. So have a cup of coffee. Say, you go for a cup of coffee. I just want to update you for 5 minutes. And tell them what you're doing. And I can't believe you're doing that. You met who? What were you doing? Why were you on that panel again? Get the information across. The opportunities are definitely there.
Thank you, Ruth. I would like to ask that all of you that how can there are a lot of young women who are going to enter into their professional career. So how can they balance their career and their family and also whatever their passion? So how can they do that in an effective way? Anyone can take it. Yeah, Geeta.
Okay, I can do it. Sure. So, not that I have a mantra for everything, but definitely what has worked for me is, of course, I have a wonderful, understanding husband who let me follow my passion. That's good. He's also moody. Not every time and say, "Ha, Geeta, good, good." No, sorry. We have all the good fun and fights and so on. But again, it need not be family members or anyone else also. You should know what is making them say that. If there's some of this frustration, maybe they're saying that. That intent-wise there is a support that is more than sufficient. So I think family support is definitely important, but it won't be like a constant, always good, good. Don't expect. We generally female want beige for everything. Why? I mean, what you're doing, and every time everyone is a person, they have their own priorities, right? So that you have to remember. But I've been from a traditional family as well, where I had my mother-in-law, whom had to be taken care of, parents at home, and so on as well, and small babies. Well, now they're all big, so one thing that I did was, of course, I took a very small break during my after my daughter and son were born. But I kept in, whenever there was free time, I kept in touch with the work in some fashion, not like always doing computers or whatever. Some level of keeping in touch will help, because when you go back, you're not fully sort of forgotten everything. Just sort of being in that path would help. Second thing is, you will have priorities. There will be days where the family is the priority. There will be days where office is the priority. That will happen. You have to you have to be clear that this is going to happen. It's not like always work is priority, always home is priority. And you also have to make it known to your people around in the family versus this. And what has helped me is open communication. If, for example, my daughter is sick and I'm not able to do this, daughter is sick, and I mention, sorry, I'm trying to do my best, but this is what it is, right? So they know how to manage around you, right? Within the office, for example. Similarly, the other way around, if there is a major deadline and you're working towards your paper deadline, or you're working towards a delivery, my husband knows it. He calls it Grahan, okay, up 12 o'clock, like US deadlines are 12 next day. Many of you may relate to it. So up till 12, he will not talk to me, right? He knows even if we talk, I'm not listening. So this is to happen. After 12, I come out of the room, I'm normal. So if you let them know this is what it is, then they will also be able to accept you as it comes. So this kind of, having this open communication both ways. Not every small thing you need to tell in office, but really major ones. I think that has helped. Let's say if I have to go for a parent-teacher meeting for my daughter, that's going to be in my calendar. Just like meeting with the CEO of another company, it's going to be in the calendar. It's okay. I have this blocked for 2 hours because I am going to the school to meet, and I'm completely fine with my team member doing the same thing. I tell them, because then they feel comfortable doing the same thing, provided I know that they are kind of working hard and sincere and so on. I think that's important. I think this kind of a balancing of ensuring, first is ignoring, again, I think that's important, where, not getting hurt, if at all. But also prioritizing the right thing at the right time is important. I remember my mother-in-law was very sick. She was in the hospital. I know I had to take care of her. For the whole week, I worked out of hospital. What is that? WFH, work from home, and I work from hospital. I just told this is what I'm going to do. And I actually worked more because she hardly needed me to sort of do everything. And she was sleeping and I was doing. So I was completely in the hospital working, So these, of course, now it's very common, like hybrid and COVID, but at the time it wasn't. Similarly, to my team members also, I give them that comfort. I think it's like leading by example. Look, I have many, we are like 70% girls in my office, right? So leading by example, they feel comfortable. And one of the best dependable results have come from female employees. I have wonderful male employee, team members as well. Definitely, I'm not saying sidelining this, but one thing we have to make sure, and I think you were referring to it, is that, or you were also referring to it, is that if somebody is in the office or made to a position, it is they are as equal or better than the rest, and that's why they're there. It's very important to have your processes clear. You are not having any bias towards, because of a lady you're getting, no, absolutely no, because then the team member is not treated with respect later. So it's very important that if you have made it, it's because of your talent and skill and not because of your gender. Yes, maybe if two people are there and one is a male and female, you may choose this person, that's up to you. But unless they're equal, I don't think, it's important to have it as a process. It's important to also express it to as a leader, like as you manage people. So it's important to express that also. I'm sure people will agree, but they shouldn't have that feeling
Thank you.
built into the team.
Anybody would like to add a...
Yeah, I agree with Geeta ma'am. We have to prioritize. Am I audible? Yeah, we have to prioritize. Like when I was growing up, studies was my priority. My parents were for it. So when I got married, my husband also come to understand that I'm a career woman. So my career is important. He was supportive. Like when there is important things, he will take up the household jobs, cooking, washing, anything for that matter. Then when I had my son was, of course, my priority. So I had to prioritize my time, what I am going to give for him. So we divided the job like this. My husband is from arts background, so I told, you take care of language, social studies. I will take care of maths and science. Then also I'll tell my son, right from the young stage, I made him a little independent. I will tell him, see, when you don't understand something, either you have to ask me or your teacher. You don't study anything if you don't understand. So that way, half of my load is there. So he understood that he has to understand and study, and whenever doubts are there, he will come to me. So that way, only minimum time I need to spend with him. So before exams also, I'll tell him, I may go on tour any time. Like, so you don't wait for the last minute. You just go through your exercise fully and then be prepared and give me enough, you keep enough time for yourself. Don't come in the last minute. He was a good boy. He understood everything and followed. And he did well in his studies also, though I spent minimum time. He didn't go for, he went for an ordinary school nearby only because ACCESS was very close by. He did all the time well. So whenever it comes to my colleagues, I am a living example. They all know it because we all work in the same organization, no transfers. So they know the full life history, family history. So I had not taken any leave. I go with 0 leave right from the beginning. So I will tell, whenever my lady colleagues take leave, no, I'll tell, see, you need not spend 1 month for one exam. You need not take leave. I am myself is a living example. You have seen me working late hours, not taking any leave. So that is how we can lead by example also. Like, so prioritizing and planning is the best way to handle household chores with our official duties.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, I agree actually whatever point Geeta and Olina said. One thing I just wanted to add here is that we have limited time, 24 hours. So for few things which someone else can do, I think don't just give it to that. Trade your time with house help. Have that as much as possible. I mean, as long as if you're not able to manage, because work is priority. If that is the priority, then obviously take it and free your time actually for those things. But sometimes if you, let's say for example, you enjoy cooking, then obviously it's a good change in your mundane work you might have done, and probably it will really re-energize you with some new ideas. And many times what happens that when you take a break and then you get some more interesting ideas while you are doing something. So one thing is good balance, and don't get stressed out of lot of priorities in mind. Keep few and achieve them. Yeah. Otherwise, what happens that you really get burnt out. You have 3 lists or 4 lists in for your day to complete, and in the end, you find that you have only finished 1 task. So be practical of what you can achieve in 1 single day. Achieve it. Don't get burned out. Have a quality time with family, and trade your time with household helps if at all it's available and possible.
Yeah, thank you, Alpana. That's a very valid point. I think should not be try to be a superwoman. So wherever possible, you should delegate and you should not feel guilty about it. I guess. That's very important. Now I would like each one of them to give some last word, like some key takeaways very quickly, like couple of sentences if people could tell. Yeah, Ruth can go.
Take a risk, accept that you're human. You won't always win, but if you don't try, you'll never know.
Absolutely. I'll say something else which we didn't touch upon about the network part of it. I think we didn't get to that. So it's very, very important to network with people as well, apart from additional things I said. And for that, you have to be bold, right? And especially if it's in a conference or something, you tend to see a lot of male people sitting, and it's okay, go and sit. They may feel awkward, let them feel awkward for some time. And after you start talking to them, then they will also feel comfortable. Yes, na, guys here. Awesome, thank you. They're all here. I mean, I'm very helpful. I think we should give a big hand to the male people who are sitting here. And they're actually trying to understand what are the problems. I really appreciate that. So it's all within you. You make your mindset in a way that gender is out. You are the person going forward, just like everyone else. I'm not saying you are God here. No, you are yet another person in the room, but you are not below the table. You are equal. That's all matters in your head.
Yeah, I will go back to the first point. You set your goals high, have a vision. Indeed, you should dream. Dream is something what you don't get while sleep. No, dream should be something which never lets you sleep. So you have to dream. And see, we as a human being are endowed with a very wonderful ability to think. I think therefore I am. See, if you see, in the nature, human beings are the most defenseless creature. Like I can be bitten by a small insect and I will die. I don't have eyes like eagle to see large distances. So most of the time, human beings are defenseless, but for the quality of thinking. So we should exercise that thinking ability, think, do creative things. So be creative. And never let loose an opportunity. Don't think that a big opportunity will come at some point of your time. Make use of all small opportunities. Big opportunity may never come. So recognize opportunities and utilize it. And another thing is, you should do hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. Winners always do something more to have a winning edge. Hard work is also important. And we were hearing instances of somewhere you are getting let down. As Madam was also saying, don't keep it for a long time. Have a positive attitude, shut it off, and then like every force has got equal and opposite reaction. So the more they pull you down, the more effort you put and push yourself up. That is the best way of coming out of this kind of pulling down or depression or whatever it is. So nothing can stop you. If something can stop you, it's only you who will stop you. Nothing can let you down. It's only you who can let yourself down. If you think that way, everything, if you take it in a positive way and fight your future, then nothing like that.
Yeah, Alpana.
So I would say be bold, take risk. So here I would want to just add that be like a trader in your brain, but be like a mother in your heart. So don't be discouraged about any losses, like how traders, they don't care about daily ups and downs. So don't think about those ups and downs and be empathetic to the people around you. And that's the quality which anyway all the women have got. And last thing is that love your critique. They give lots of insight. I am not saying critiques who are just making you turn down, but try to understand what is the message and how you can improve, what went wrong in your approach, what went wrong in your way you articulated your message, and learn from that and be a lifelong learner.
Thank you, Alpana. I'll open it up to audience. So you have questions to our panelists. Can ask them. Audience? Okay.
So it's not much of a question, but more of a comment that whatever you spoke about is great career advice, period. It doesn't have to be just for women. So a lot of the things that you said applies equally to men here as well. So thanks for all the great advice that all of you gave here.
Anybody else have a question to any of the panelists?
Hello, thank you for the thoughtful discussion. My question stems from the fact that all the people present on the panel are the best people to answer this question. And the question is, what would be your response to people in our field, in the field of computing, who are slightly prejudiced towards women? How should we or any in this room should respond or react when we encounter such a situation?
In my mind, I'd like to hit them, but I don't. That's me being honest. What do I really do, or what do I really say? Look at the person and think to yourself, are they likely to listen to reason? And if they are, spend the time to find out why they're asking that question or why they're treating you that way, because it's usually down to a misunderstanding. It's not, the bias comes from somewhere, so find out why. Don't say you're wrong. Say, why do you think that way? What makes you think that way? And once you find out, you can fix it. But if they're so strong that you don't think you can convince them otherwise, that they're not open to discussion, then why waste your time? Walk away, save your energy for something else.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. So try to understand more about what is that prejudice coming from. But initially, in my initial days, what I used to do is I wanted to prove myself right. So I used to spend a lot of overnight and Sundays, Saturdays. When you put up an idea forward, they say this idea won't work. So instead of sharing the idea, I used to implement the prototype, go there and put up the idea. And they say, your idea won't work. I said, hey, here is a prototype which works. So I used to do that a lot. And honestly, I was taxing myself a bit, but that it was early days where people didn't think that anyone of us can do research. But because of that, initially I got accepted. And later, I had to do it for like once or twice. And then third time, when I said an idea without a prototype, they said, okay, this person is saying something that is sane. So you start getting accepted. In case you need to do that, or at least not go full on, but at least go fully prepared. When you're presenting an idea, don't just say, hey, without your full, you have to think through that idea and then go for it. Especially if you're all in research, it's very easy to get short. You mean what I mean, right? You just say, oh, it won't work, and they'll come up with some negative. You wouldn't have thought about it. So when you're presenting an idea or any point, make sure you've thought through it and then say it. You can also ask it as a question, in which case you don't have to think through it, but you can decide how you want to put it. But this is something I used to do, work a little bit harder. So now, even when I face the investor, I do my homework and then go. I don't know whether it's overdoing, but that is helping me. And of course, what you said, if they are not reasonable, then no point in arguing. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I agree with. I agree with Ruth. Yeah, when she said that we have to put questions like, no, why? Yeah, you can put questions, intelligent questions, and set the other person thinking, no, why such prejudices? One should speak out to be heard, stand up to be counted in any case when such prejudices happen. So that is a strategy.
You want to ask a question? Yeah. She. Can you give the mic here?
So thank you for the session, ma'am. And I'm an undergrad. I'm just 21, and I'm not into research, like in-depth research yet. But I'm looking forward to doing research. So my question is like, this is not technical actually. You were saying that we just don't pay heed to naysayers who pull us down, who are like, don't do this, don't do this. But how do I know that I should not be listening to them? Because at my stage, like when I'm too young, I kind of need some mentor to tell me what to do and what not to do. But I'm feeling like, is it the right person that I should be trusting? And how do I pick between people who are like good, like really good well-wishers and who are not? And as Dr. Ruth was pointing out, like I would like to see people waving at me from Ferrari. Like sometimes, is it always that we spend so much energy on other people as well that sometimes it can be backfiring? I'm just like curious. I might not have much experience as you all do, but just out of curiosity. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say first you should believe in yourself. You should be confident in yourself. Then you need not even look for a mentor. How you become confident in yourself? You should acquire enough knowledge about the work on which you are doing, about common sense knowledge. So once you get enough knowledge and train yourself in every area in which you have to get trained, then you become confident. Then once you're confident, you don't even require a mentor to say what you have to do, what you need not have to do, which is right, which is wrong. You yourself will have the competence in yourself to judge which is right, which is wrong. So believe in yourself. That is the point I would like to stress on.
Thank you, ma'am.
So yeah, I would say same, like you have to believe in yourself, but I would differ slightly at the other point that you may not know the field completely. So you really have to understand why the person has said that. And it may be that, okay, he might have not very good intention to criticize you. Sometimes that also happens, but it gives you to really think through the idea or whatever you are trying to present to him. And then it gives you an opportunity to talk to other folks that how we can improve it, or if there are certain aspects which requires other types of domain or subject matter expertise, you can really get it from the other people and talk to them. So always try to seek more knowledge from other people, and then make sure that whatever that person was saying was actually wrong. Read the literature and learn from other people, improve. So just see that's an opportunity to improve your idea, your project, or your approach, whatever. So that's the kind of thing which I would actually want to say. Because I can actually remember a lot of moments in my life where critiques have played a major role in improving me. I mean, I can recall some moments in my life in which has been the moment in which I really started thinking about, can I not do this? Why I can't do this? And I started working on those and improving on those. So just take that opportunity like that.
Yeah, so I'll try to share my thoughts on the question. But the last bit you said, na, I may not be as knowledgeable as you all, but I thought I'll ask that you cut it off. Okay, it's a wonderful question you asked. It's not.
Too young. I just thought I don't have as much experience in the field as
you have
all.
asked the best question in this room. Okay, that is true, because it is difficult to figure out who is a critic, who is a mentor, who is a well-wisher, who is not. It's absolutely right. My approach is everyone is good. Everyone is a good mentor. Everyone is telling for my good. I start with that positioning. Double click, right? They say something. Oh, can you please tell me? You can say now to him, I'm not as knowledgeable as you, and please, can you tell me more? It's okay, right? When you double click, and you know where it lands, that's when you know whether it's a political critic kind of person or not. And during this, you don't have to always sort of try and go and ask there. It can be a dialogue. This is how I feel. That's why I feel different from what you're saying. So you have that dialogue, right? But it's a very good question that you asked, right? It's not always, first time you're not clear. some of the parameters are always there. They have done it already. They are already a professor. So obviously they are supposed to know more than you in certain subjects like that, right? They have accomplished. Then they already straight away become mentors, right? But the comment, whether you want to take it as like advice or not, but usually I find, I think she was saying, usually I find that whenever there's a comment there, whether they say it or not, you try to see why they said it, and you can learn from that gap that you have in your thinking. If you try to identify that gap, you can decide whether to close it or not. It's your call. But identify that gap, then it helps either way, even if they are critic, or it absolutely helps you. And thanks for that question. You are the first girl who asked this question.
Thank you.
You're very confident.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think we are running out of time. So I would like to thank all our wonderful panelists for a very engaging discussion. And I also would like to thank you, wonderful audience, for engaging with our panelists and asking very nice questions. Please give a big round of applause to our panelists.
Actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce you all to Chitra ma'am also. She herself, she's a very senior member at ACM, and she has been heading her institute for 15 long years, leading and with lot of experience, right? So, and my role model, because all my learning at ACM has many times come from her. So, thank you, Chitra ma'am, for moderating the panel, and all the speakers and the panel members. As a token of appreciation, we from ACM, we actually plant a tree in the name of every speaker. We are in collaborating with 14 tree organization, which plants a tree, and the tree is actually nurtured, and we also get a geographical location and the updates about how the tree is growing. So I will be very happy. On behalf of ACM, I would like to present the certificates quoting the trees that have been planted in the name of the speakers here. And for this, I would like to call our ACMW committee members. Hina ma'am, please, to felicitate Chitra ma'am with the certificate. Gitanjali for felicitating Alpna Dubey. Renuka for felicitating Ruth. I would invite Manik for felicitating Geeta ma'am. And Shriparna for felicitating Novalin. So I'm very sure that we all have received not only valuable inputs, but even actionable advices that will help us to grow in our career, right, everyone? And yes, as I had quoted in the very starting only, see, previously we used to have ACMW event as a woman-only event, but from this year we have blended it with ARCS, and we have a mixed audience, because it's not only about women, right? And we can see that we have good feedback also, that these things not only apply to women, it also applies to men, and without the support of the other gender, we cannot grow. So I thank all of you to be here. Thank you, everyone.